XXXTentacion spotted alive. Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. In June of last year, the rapper known as XXXTentacion lost his life in a tragic fashion. His passing sent ripples throughout the rap world, and many responded in their own ways. But among a few of his fanbase, a question was raised. Is he really gone? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Time of passing. As they say, there are two sides to every story, and just like there are people who feel that X is still alive, there are also people who say that he's really gone. And knowing that the circumstances of his passing does help paint a picture for both sides. So let's talk about that first. Everything happened in June when X was out and about in Florida. He went to a motorcycle shop and came out of the dealership in a BMW, when he was then suddenly followed by a dark SUV. This led to the events that we all know the result of. Though the police and an ambulance made it to him, he passed away in the hospital hours later. A statement was given about the events of the day and the loss of X. On June 18th, 2018, José Onfroy, known worldly as XXXTentacion, tragically passed away in Deerfield, Florida. The statement begins, in deference of his family, friends, and loved ones, and in the light of further investigation, we ask that their privacy is respected at this time. X touched the lives of millions around the globe and will forever reside in the hearts of countless fans who listened to his music, attended his concerts, and felt the glow of his uncontainable, undeniable, and unique spirit. Naturally, all who heard the news and had a connection with X were devastated by the events, and as more information came out, so too did their grief and their desire to believe that it wasn't real. And that's when the conspiracy theories started to emerge. Number 6. Reasons for being gone. But beyond what any conspiracy theory might say, or even the slight convenience you believe, there has to be a guiding force behind such an act. To fake one's own passing takes a lot of guts and guile. There needs to be a true purpose or reasoning for why it might happen. And believe it or not, X honestly had some good reasons to pass on. For example, X might have been popular, but he hardly was world famous in the way that Drake, Kanye West, Eminem, Cardi B, and many more are. In fact, his fan base actually grew after his passing. For real, the sales of X spiked to record highs after his passing, and more people found out about him because of this event, which means that the money had to go somewhere, right? But more importantly, X is one of the most controversial rappers of the young generation of the genre, which is saying something given the people he keeps company with in this genre. To be clear, it's not just his lyrics that got him this reputation, though those did help indeed get him that label. Rather, he had some very unfortunate choices as to how to handle certain problems or issues in his life. Easily the biggest part of this controversy was the relationship with his longtime girlfriend, Geneva Ayala. Two had a very complex relationship, but by complex, I honestly mean mistreating and other factors. And though X often tried to win her back, it was never enough. He tried really hard and even made a song that many feel that was dedicated to her, including having a person mimic her as she walked through the video as though she was there in his mind and heart. But again, that didn't matter to her. She had enough. In fact, she even filed a lawsuit against him, stating that not only did he mistreat her, but he did other very horrible things to her. So why does this matter? Well, when X passed on, all of his cases were dropped on him, as is the law. And there were more than just singular ones with Geneva. X was accused of a lot of things by a lot of people, and so before his passing, he was on protective custody before going on a tour. So by faking his own departure, he would have a literal get out of jail free card, and he could exploit it and then live on the rest of his life on the money he made by going away with his sales. And with that money, he can go anywhere he wants and be free of burden of what people thought of him. I'm sure this must sound like a major conspiracy theory that you would watch play out on a TV show or a movie of some kind, but people have honestly gone to great lengths to try and evade such charges. And there have been many people that have honestly tried to do this in some extent. If he felt he could do it, why wouldn't he? Number 5. Lack of evidence. In a conspiracy theory, evidence is everything. You can't just say that there's something going on, you have to have some ideas or proof that can back up your claim. And various aspects of the evidence put on X being alive came from a Twitter handle named Boston Vane. Don't think he's just a random guy who thinks X is alive. He actually made a post not long after the passing of X stating that a lot of the evidence presented at the crime scene didn't add up to the accounts made by the sheriff's department and other official sources. After hearing some of this, you might understand why this notion doesn't sound too crazy. So let's start off with the evidence found at the crime scene. His passing in the reports, it said that his Louis bag was stolen from his car. In the video, his pulse is being checked. There's absolutely no evidence of violence. No shattered glass, no holes. His face is in pristine condition. If he was run up on, wouldn't his car have been damaged? Wouldn't he have had face injuries? And to go out the way he did should have portrayed a more violent outcome than what was actually showed. It's really suspicious. In the videos, he's completely clean, even on his clothing, which was very light colored. Next, the Louis bag was stolen. And X wore jewelry often. No reports of jewelry being stolen were made. Why would you rob someone, do serious harm to them, them, steal their Louis bag, but leave their jewelry, especially from a notorious rapper. Finally, someone pointed out the fact that his tattoos are missing. The videos of his body are low quality, and I'm not sure I believe it, but it seems that very clearly his forehead tattoo is missing. He has a very prominent prong-shaped tattoo on his forehead, which is missing, which brings the option of the man in the car being a double. Again, I'm not sure I believe it, but I also don't believe he passed away. You have to admit, for a conspiracy theory, that's some pretty compelling evidence. And they even show the picture of X lying in the car, and sure enough, the head tattoo honestly isn't there. Now, there are many logical explanations as to why some of this evidence is missing, or why certain events don't add up. After all, the pictures and testimony can only reveal so much. For example, the items left on X, the thieves might have not had time to steal everything off of X's body before the cops would show up. And it's likely that they didn't plan for what was to come. They probably just wanted to scare him enough to get everything that he had, but things went wrong and they only landed the bag. But regardless of what the truth is, the thread got a lot of attention around the world, and it turned many into believers that X is still alive. Number 4, a stunt. The other big reason that some people think X is alive is that he actually pulled a stunt like this back in 2017. X posted a video online through his Instagram feed, and in that video, X appeared to be taking his own life, which isn't something you should post on social media, but again, X was very controversial. If not apparent, his fan base went nuts about this and tried to find out whether he was alive or not. Turns out he was actually showing a clip of himself from a music video that he was doing called Look At Me. It was all a publicity stunt for a video. Yeah, I know. It sounds like something a lot of young rappers would do today. So yeah, it was a complete hoax, but people believed it, and if he was desperate enough and thought it would work twice, could have easily pulled this off and tried to get more buzz for, say, another album or track. Granted, you would think that he would have popped back up by now to reveal that he was alive, but maybe he's waiting for the right moment to make his return. Sadly, this isn't the end of the thread, because shortly after the passing of X, a video popped up online of him saying that he was alive and that the death that they saw was for a music video, but that was referring to the old music video. Number 3, a reason to be alone. Not exactly proof of him being alive, but a reason of him to fake his passing. X wasn't alone per se when he was taken from the world, and by that I mean he had a girlfriend who was pregnant with his child, and that child has been born. Genesis Sanchez noted that she gave birth to his child, his final gift to the world, and the arrival of the child is more than enough of a reason for someone to fake their passing so that the eyes of the world wouldn't be on them forever. For right now, sure, but if he's in hiding, all he have to do is wait for the right moment to come out, and then he can reconnect with his child and baby mama. Elaborate? Alright, but if there's one thing that the world of music has taught us, is that the children of famous singers are going to be scrutinized heavily. By faking his passing, he would then ensure that his young one wouldn't have the burden, and after a while, they can be together without media attention. Number 2, predicting the future. Many celebrities have passed on in such a way that they actually seem to know what was coming beforehand. They would say something in an interview or a song, and when you play it back, it's like they knew they would be gone soon. And X did that to an extent. He wanted to Instagram and talk to his fans in a rather weird way.
At least, alright, let's say, worst thing comes to worst, I die a tragic death or something, and I'm not able to see out my dreams. I at least want to know that the kids perceived my message and were able to make something of themselves and able to take my message and use it and turn it into something positive, and to at least have a good life.
He said in the clip, if I'm going to die or ever be a sacrifice, I want to make sure that my life at least made 5 million kids happy, or they found some sort of answers or resolve in my life regardless of the negativity around my name, regardless of the bad things people say to me. You can interpret this how you will, obviously, but something sounds really foreshadowy about all of this, and that brings us to something that his attorney said not long after the incident. He noted that he actually asked the rapper to beef up his security detail. We talked about him needing security and that he was past the point of being a kid making melodies on a street corner. So he felt he was going to pass on soon in some aspect, and he denied extra security, which has all the hallmarks of a setup, or at least it would be in the eyes of conspiracy theorists. And it's kind of hard to deny that this doesn't make sense in some fashion. Number 1, Tupac. Why in the world am I mentioning Tupac in a video about X? Well, it's simple. There's a lot of similarities about their passings. Tupac being alive is one of the biggest conspiracies in the world today, and there are many who feel that he's been around long after his alleged passing. Tupac was one of the biggest rappers in the world during the 90s. Then one night in Las Vegas, he was taken away by a drive-by. But that's when things got weird. He, like X, wasn't lost at the scene, but passed away afterwards. Both of their bodies weren't shown to the public in certain ways. The funeral of Tupac was closed casket, and it was supposed to be a big event, but it got canceled at the last minute, limiting those who ever saw the casket. The point I'm trying to make here is that all of these circumstances have led to the long-standing rumor that Tupac is still alive. And some feel that he's in Jamaica or Haiti right now, chilling, because he was tired of all of the fame that he got in himself during his time in the United States. So does that sound familiar? Well, because that's quite similar to the set of circumstances that X was going through. And if Tupac set the blueprint for how to get out of that amount of heat, why not try it yourself? It worked for Tupac, and people are still talking about him to this day. Although the people who caused the passing of X have been caught, and so that's a very key difference. Or is it? Because all three of the arrests have pleaded not guilty despite overwhelming evidence being against them. Do they know something that we don't? And so here we are, the end of the threads on the road surrounding his passing. What does it all mean? Is it all just convenient timing and evidence? Or are these people who think he's still alive just looking for something, anything just to make his passing not real? And to be honest, that's up to you. So there you have it, everyone. The conspiracy theories and beliefs that X is still alive. Are any of them believable? Or are they way too out there to even be considered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.